Oh, oh. I don't get it. Now, personally, I don't think there's anything funny about the legal profession, but these so-called comic artists think that they can besmirch my chosen profession. Well, I'm not going to stand for it, and I'm going to react to the best and worst legal comics. Must be nice working in a big fancy office. Must be nice to breathe the fresh air, experience direct sunlight, and have a job with clear instructions. Oh no. Oh boy. I mean, yeah. I mean, especially starting out. You're a young associate at a big law firm. I always had a window in my office. A lot of my friends were on the inside of an office building with no direct sunlight.
For now, why don't you go ahead and get yourself a flashlight and a can of pesticide and...
Excuse me? Excuse me?
And believe it or not, it's not the part about being outdoors that's the worst part, or being stuck inside. It's the lack of clear instructions. You have no idea what you're supposed to be doing for like 8 years. And you're just learning on the job. So yeah, I feel this. And yeah, I wish that there was a better way to give instructions to young associates. My client cannot possibly be guilty of baby murder. Justice is a fallacious Platonic ideal we receive via Christianity's embrace of Greek thought in the Middle Ages. There's a reason no one hires philosophy majors. I'll have to tell that to Philosophy Tube and Wisecrack. Oh man. Yeah. Sometimes you can win an argument and still lose the argument, and if you make these kind of arguments, you're gonna lose. Also, we just saw this in the first episode of She-Hulk, where someone was making this like sophist argument. What's the definition of knowing? And yeah, my client killed all these people, but it was a business deal. Like, even if that was legally persuasive, it's not rhetorically persuasive, and you're gonna lose your case. Birds sleeping. Sorry I'm late. There were some problems with a witness, and I had to file. I'm not a lawyer, am I? I don't think so. Thank God, I was totally unprepared. Oh no. Oh, that really hits home. I have to say, the most stressful part about being a practicing trial lawyer is not losing a case or going up against some bigwig at another law firm. It's really being unprepared, and specifically missing some jurisdictional deadline. You wake up in a cold sweat hoping that the court isn't gonna throw out your case. Like, for example, you know, if you have a hearing in Orange County and you're in Santa Monica and you set your alarm for PM instead of AM, and then you wake up at 9 o'clock and the hearing's at 9:30, and you know, then you have to pray that some of your colleagues are in Orange County. Luckily, one of your partners is in Santa Ana, so you give them a call and plead with them to show up in court so that your case doesn't get thrown out. Yeah, I mean, that's never happened to me, but I can imagine how that might happen to somebody else, and how that would be a very stressful situation if you're not prepared or you don't show up to court. So yeah, this poor bird. Luckily, he's not a lawyer and doesn't have any of those responsibilities. Professional life. No, we will not agree to the sneaky provision you tried to bury in section 15D of the agreement. Personal life. Do I agree to the 35-page terms and conditions to play Animal Crossing? Fast scroll accept, give me the game. Now, there are some issues with contracts of adhesion, but for the most part, these contracts tend to be enforceable. And yeah, just, give me the Animal Crossing. And one of the best episodes of South Park, really one of the best episodes of comedy ever, is where they talk about someone who, did not read all the terms and conditions before they signed it. And I won't spoil what happens in that episode, but it's absolutely brilliant. Definitely worth watching, and a great satire of, the whole legal industry.
83 pounds, good, let's get the blood work.
Honey, you can't do that.
You agreed we could take all the blood we needed.
What are you talking about?
When you downloaded the last iTunes update, a window on your screen popped up and asked you if you agreed to our terms and conditions. You clicked agree. All right, let's get him to the water tank.
A cat killer? Is that the face of a cat killer? Cat chaser, maybe. But hey, who isn't? Man, I miss The Far Side. It's so good. I think there's a problem with this jury. It's a dog representing another dog in a jury full of cats. The judge is a presiding cat. Everyone in the gallery is a cat. This is completely unfair. I will not stand for this injustice. I object. Counsel is trying to confuse the jury with the intent of the law, completely ignoring the loopholes and technicalities. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the law is written in such a way that it's supposed to have loopholes and technicalities. But also, I have to take issue with this particular comic. You're not going to be arguing the law in front of the jury. This is something that you'd only argue to the judge. The jury doesn't get to decide the law. The law is given to them. That's what jury instructions are for. Which is why people hate lawyers and no TV shows are accurate, because it's day-to-day super boring. Super boring. I'll close this deal in a 3-minute montage, spend quality time with my kids, and still have time for a steamy side romance. How does anyone have time to do anything? Being a TV lawyer definitely seems like it's a better job. Also, on TV, they're never writing any kinds of briefs. They're never doing legal research. They're just showing up to court with no preparation whatsoever, having done none of the briefing, and they expect to win their case. I mean, She-Hulk that we saw just a few weeks ago was so bad at this. Legal inaccuracies make Devin mad. And in real life, you don't have time for everything. It's just, I thought I was guilty until my lawyer straightened me out on that. So, all right, funny, but there are a number of clients who will come to you thinking that they might have done something wrong or not being sure. One of my partners said that any lawyer can tell a client not to do something, but a great lawyer will tell them that they can, because it's just so easy to say, no, it's legally irresponsible, but to really put your reputation on the line and say that, yes, you can do something, that's what lawyers really get paid for, and that's top tier lawyering.
Sweet.
No, it has to be true. You have to have a legal basis to say that you can do something when someone is worried about it, but that's the real trick as a lawyer. Law firm partner, 3 a.m. Law firm associate, 3 a.m. Did I accidentally insert an extra comma in section 8.13K of the stock purchase agreement? Oh my God. Like, you get so in depth in these contracts, and yeah, you'll have nightmares about a missing comma, one tiny missing word, a wrong indentation. It'll absolutely give you nightmares. This comic definitely seems to know the legal practice pretty well. This lawyer has been injured. Does anyone speak legalese? I don't get it. The lawyer's injured. Why would they speak a different language? I think that one could be better. Don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings. I'm a lawyer. I resemble that remark. Lawyers have feelings, allegedly. You can, make us hurt. Theoretically, it's possible, allegedly speaking. Now, that being said, maybe we don't exactly wear our hearts on our sleeves because we're constantly fighting people all day, including sometimes our clients. So, all right, maybe there is some truth to that. Fine, I'll get up and feed you. No need to get the lawyers involved. Damn cats. Cats are clearly the most litigious of all the animals in the animal kingdom. Just jerks. No, I said paralegals. All right, let's go legal eagles. Could you draft these terms into a contract? I trust your lawyerly expertise on this. Oh, absolutely, you're in great hands with me. How to draft a contract a few minutes later. Oh no. Okay, I don't know if I should admit this, but I'm teaching a class at the Georgetown Law School. I've been teaching it for a couple years now. And I was talking to the class, what's the first thing that you would do when you would research this particular topic that we were talking about? And they answered, oh, I would go on Westlaw and do case law research. I'd go on LexisNexis and I'd find the statutory authority, et cetera, et cetera. And I told them, really, the first thing that you should do, there's no shame in it, just Google it. Totally legitimate. Sometimes there's good stuff out there. It costs the client nothing, whereas a lot of these databases are really expensive to run searches. And you can't trust it, you have to check it, but search Google first. Why not? As with any lawsuit, you'll go through 7 stages: anger, denial, bargaining, tantrums, hostages, acceptance, bankruptcy. The number of clients who have come to me and said, I'm going to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court, only to turn around and not even file a suit when I say that, okay, great, so it's gonna cost you, thousands of dollars an hour. It's going to take thousands of hours to take this case to a verdict, let alone to appeal and beyond. Yeah, this is very accurate that many cases end in bankruptcy because people have no idea how much it costs. They're angry, they think it's worth fighting until they see the price tag, and then they are absolutely done and let bygones be bygones. Perhaps you'd like to rephrase your last answer. Oh, that's Pinocchio. Yeah, that's a terrible witness. Terrible witness right there. Actually, I'm a litigator. That's just a solid pun. I'll allow it. Fantastic. Big law fail. Associate 21, where's your markup of the merger documents? You said you'd have it by the end of the day. Right, I meant like 11:59 p.m. That's so true. And the funny thing is, what happens is you send an email at 11:59 p.m. saying, oh, I'm almost done. And really, there's no point in me sending it at midnight, so I'll send it to you by 7 a.m. the next day. So you get to work through the night on that thing. That is so accurate. It's so accurate. Oh no, what is it? The human filter isn't working. What are you gonna tell the judge? Don't worry, I got this. I'm not a cat. Oh, that was so good. What a great moment for all of us in the pandemic to just sit there and laugh at the poor guy with the cat filter on his Zoom.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
And the human filter for cats. That's very crafty. I like it. That it was a cat the whole time.
You've got to be kidding me! Ha!
Bad news is you're to be executed at dawn. Good news is your executioner isn't a morning person. Oh, that's dark. That is quite dark. Let's review each other's briefs and make our oral arguments. Appellate lawyers flirting. Oh. I mean, if you get it, you get it. I think these two are in for some sua sponte in flagrante delicto. Ooh, that is... They're going to moot each other all night. I'm so uncomfortable right now. Your work is riddled with typos and other unmentionables. I thought you said I could send a draft. When I said send a draft, I mean send the final document I can hang in the Sistine Chapel. So many people make this mistake. And yeah, when a partner says send a draft, what they mean is send an absolute perfect document. And then they'll just redline the hell out of it anyway. But yeah, draft does not mean draft. So many people make this mistake. Oh, and that gives rise to the email where you just reply back and say, please fix, which means this whole document is horrible. You've got to change everything about it. When you see please fix, that's like the worst thing that you can possibly get as a responsive email. I only have a few minutes to grab a quick lunch near the office. Who are all these people enjoying themselves leisurely on a weekday? Don't they have jobs? Yeah. Especially when you're practicing in LA, and I swear like 90% of the people in LA don't have regular jobs. Here in DC at least, most people have jobs and they're on a regular schedule. But man, you just walk outside in LA and everyone is, I don't know, surfing and riding a skateboard and having a good time. It's just jerks.
Occupation?
Surfer.
Is that a job, surfer?
Not really.
Your Honor, my client would like to plead the Sith. Yeah, you can do that, but it looks like you're pretty guilty, like you sliced a Jedi in half. I imagine in the Star Wars world, if you plead the Sith, you probably can't take that as self-incrimination against your defendant. So I bet in a galaxy far, far away, this is non-prejudicial, pleading the Sith. Now, if these comic lawyers were real lawyers, they'd probably need to look for a new job. And they could really benefit from today's sponsor, 80,000 Hours. They're a nonprofit that helps people find careers that aim at solving the world's most pressing problems. If you care about what the evidence actually says about having a fulfilling and impactful career, and want real advice that goes beyond the empty cliches like follow your passion, then 80,000 Hours can help. Many sources simply give cookie-cutter advice and only recommend a few well-known career paths that people often think have high social impact, like being a doctor, or a teacher, or a charity worker. Boo! Now, no, those are great, but those aren't your only options, and they probably aren't your best options either. Trust me, no career aptitude test told me to be a YouTube lawyer. And most importantly, relevant career advice can be really hard to find if you care a lot about making a big positive difference in the world. Now, 80,000 Hours is a nonprofit that aims to help you find a career that is both fulfilling and makes a big positive difference. They've done over 10 years of research alongside academics at Oxford University into how to find a fulfilling career that does a lot of good, and it turns out that the best way to make a positive difference might be pretty different from what you'd think. They avoid platitudes and unsupported generalizations. In fact, all of their recommendations are based on careful research in consultation with experts in relevant fields. And when they aren't sure of something, they say so. Plus, everything they provide is free forever because they're a nonprofit. Their only aim is to help solve global problems by helping people find the most impactful careers they can. So this one is a no-brainer if you're thinking about your career. If you'd like a free copy of 80,000 Hours in-depth career guide that helps you learn about what makes for a high-impact career, get new ideas for impactful paths, and make a new plan based on what you've learned, then just click on the link that's in the description or on screen right now. You'll also get access to their free newsletter with updates on their research and high-impact job opportunities. Again, all you have to do is click on the link that's on screen right now or down in the description to start planning a career that is meaningful, fulfilling, and helps solve one of the world's most pressing problems. And after that, click on this link over here for more Legal Eagle, or I'll see you in court.